Hey, welcome to Keeping It Real Weight Loss. If you are watching me from this Facebook Live, welcome. Or you might be watching from my YouTube channel. Sorry I'm late. I was trying to get onto my laptop, and of course, it was giving me trouble. So welcome. If you are here for the first time, my name is Janet, and I'm really excited about the title of today's program. I don't know if anybody is watching, but if you are, welcome. I'm trying to see. So today's title is all about iodine. We need iodine, okay? It's not just for our thyroid. And I've actually known about this element, this mineral, for a very long time. And I've been researching it for a long time, and I would take it on and off, but that's it. I am going to be very consistent to take iodine because iodine is needed for every cell in our body, and it's needed to produce hormones, not just thyroxine for the thyroid, but it's needed for your breast tissue, for prostate, ovarian, uterus, for your brain, for your eyes, for your lining in your digestive tract. So I'm really excited to bring this message. I hope I bring it. I will be bringing more as I research it more. So anyway, let's start with prayer really quick. So Father God, I invite you onto this live. Father, you know who's going to be watching the recording. Father, bless them that need to hear this message and help me bring it out to who needs to hear it in a way that's coming out of what I understand it to be, in the name of Jesus. Okay, so let's get started. So like I said, this is for educational purposes only. I truly believe that you should be your own doctor, meaning when you get a diagnosis, you should be going to work and researching something and finding the natural cure, because if you are on medication, you don't have to stay on the medications. I don't think you could always be changing your lifestyle, right? And that's what you should be doing, because you want to always ask yourself, if I'm diagnosed with this now and you're a certain age, how is it going to affect you a year from now? And medications are really not good for you. They might be fixing one thing, but they will be damaging something else. So that's something for you to think about. And when my kids were little, the doctors always wanted to put them on antibiotics. And the question I always would ask them, I've shared this in other videos, is, do they need it? So then they would say, they would get a little bit mad. I could see they would, but they would share with me and say, okay, if you see that they're getting better, then you don't have to give it to them. See, now, why didn't they offer that information to me? And so the information that I'm going to bring to you is, I have been following this doctor, David Brownstein, and a few others, but I really like him. He's been studying this. He used to be a general practitioner, and he tells a story that he didn't want to do it anymore because the only thing he was doing was writing prescriptions, and those prescriptions would make him write more prescriptions to the person because the medications that they were on weren't really good for them, but they needed it. So that's when he started getting into functional medicine and studying the iodine. So he has a lot of practice, I think over 30 years. And okay, so let me get started. So the first thing that he shared was that his dad had a heart attack, and he was sick with angioplasties, angina, heart disease, diabetes, 12 different medications. I hope this is going to help someone. And so after he started studying iodine, he tested his dad, and he found that his dad was low on testosterone, and his thyroid levels were low. So he put him on natural testosterone and natural thyroid, okay? And in 7 days, he said that his angina went away. And after 30 days, his cholesterol went below 200 without changing the dietary habits, even though he does recommend good nutrition, and so do I. But so then his father started to look and feel better. So what he does at his practice is he does a whole nutritional, hormonal evaluation. Now, we do not get that at a regular doctor unless they are also well versed in the natural nutrition, right? So he was researching the different thyroid cofactors, which are selenium, magnesium, what else? B vitamins and vitamin C. Okay, so iodine, we know it from the periodic table as a halide on the periodic table in chemistry class, number 17. It actually has the atomic number 53. Okay, and I've been seeing the number 53 everywhere. So I don't know, I think I'm on the right track. Anyway, so wanted to give you a little bit about that. So what the problem is that what he's saying is that after testing 97%, I think it was 97% of people's urine, or testing people for iodine deficiency, he found that 97% were deficient, okay? Now, he says when you have a deficiency, that's when breast cancer, thyroid cancer, ovarian cancer, uterine cancer, glandular problems started. When he put them on iodine, these people were doing much better, okay? And he said thyroid cancer is the fastest growing cancer in the United States. Now, there's a lot of controversy with regular doctors out there and a lot of people that are scared to take iodine. But he has a book, so I recommend it, iodine book, Why You Need It and Why You Can't Live Without It, iodine. So he said that if he was forced to use only one thing in his practice, he would pick iodine, okay? So let's keep going. Okay, now he says there are different phases that someone who is low in iodine and continues to be low in iodine, what starts to happen in the body. The first stage, he said, is you develop cysts. Cysts are usually non-cancerous and they're usually liquid filled, right? The next stage, if you continue to be deficient, are hard nodules. And these are small abnormal gland growths that are, okay, they're small abnormal growths, right? He said, and then the next stage, if you continue to be deficient, are hyperplasia, which is an increase in the number of cells in your tissues and organs, which is basically saying precancerous. And then the next stage, cancer, okay? So they shown in animal and human studies that if you can reverse this by taking iodine, okay? Now he said that usually the medical doctors are usually very good at diagnosing, but they're not good at prevention, okay? So he asked the question, well then why do 1 in 7 women have breast cancer in the United States if they're saying that you don't need iodine, okay? And they're not doing the right test. They usually do one test, I think it's the THS, and that test is just not enough. But hopefully I will be able to unravel all this. Okay, so let's continue. So, in the leave me some of your comments if you're experiencing any of this. I would really like to know, because I will, well, anyway, let's continue. So you cannot create, the body doesn't create iodine. You have to get it from food or supplementation, okay? So what he says is that every cell has a sodium iodine symporter, and basically you need that to get the iodine. It's like a taxi cab for it to go across the cell membrane to deposit it in your tissues. What is that deposited? The iodine. Okay, he says that we were designed by God to have iodine receptors in every cell of your body. So he says when iodine is deficient, okay, so on that periodic table, there is iodine, chloride, bromide, and fluoride. Iodine and chloride are the two good elements, minerals, but bromide and fluoride are toxic. Okay, and I'll explain a little more. So if you are iron deficient, what's going to compete and go into the tissues is bromide and fluoride. But I'm going to explain fluoride in a little bit. Okay, so already said it's part of this group 17. Okay, so bromide is in things like a lot of the different flours, baking goods. It's in, I know he was saying that it's in mattresses, it's in cushions, it's in, I just want to give it to you since I'm, okay, it's in curtains, it's in our phones, it's in fire retardants, it's in our water, it's in our juices, it's in our brominated vegetable oils. Okay, so now you know that's one of the problems, okay, for being deficient. Okay, let me continue. He said that he found, when he did testing in his patients, that the sickest patients had high levels of bromide, okay? And then they did a study comparing breast cancer patients with non-breast cancer patients. And this was done by the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey. And they shown that they were high in bromide. Okay. Let me continue. It's very interesting. God put it on my heart to do this. So I'm just bringing you the basic information. I'm here as a messenger I didn't want to wait until I was like 100% well-versed, because I've been that brown liquid on our skin, and if it absorbed, it was, I think we had enough, but they said that's not a reliable source, because what happens is that iodine, when they put it on your skin, it dissipates, or it says it sublimates into a gaseous phase, so it's not kept inside the body. So that's not an accurate test. So Dr. Abraham did an iodine loading test. So there's a urine test that they do, and basically let me give you an example. So an example is, let's say you take the 50 milligrams of iodine, 24 hours later, they'll collect your urine and measure how much iodine comes out in the urine. And if you have no problems with your kidneys, okay, then it'll clear up 98% of the iodine. You just get rid of it, okay? But if you're having kidney problems, you really must. Anyway, you should be working with a iodine literate type of a doctor, right? And you should be studying and researching so you can bring your questions, because it is only you that has those symptoms, okay? And especially if you're not feeling good and they are testing your thyroid and they're saying you're normal, but you know you're not feeling good. Okay, this is the main thing why I'm bringing this. So if your cells, he said, are fully saturated with proper iodine, you'll just pee it out. So let's say, because really he's saying you really need, the body needs about, I think 5 milligrams. So if you took the 50 milligrams and your body was well saturated, you will pee out 45 milligrams. So you'll be left with 5 milligrams. He says generally, that's what you need on a general, regular basis, okay, to replenish it, okay? Okay, what else? Let me see what else I have here. Okay, so he said that the more you excrete, the better you are. That makes sense, because if you're not excreting the extra, that means your organs and your tissues need it and they're absorbing it, okay? So he said he gave 50 milligrams of iodine, and what he found in the urine was a lot of the bromide would come out of the urine was enormous, okay? So he said that we were created for iodine to fill the receptors, the cells, not bromide or fluoride, right? And he said fluoride is the smallest halide, and it's, listen to what he says about fluoride. Fluoride is electronegative substance, and he says that the body is very reactive to it and does not want it to be floating around because it releases poisons. It poisons hundreds of enzymes in the body and is a known neurotoxin. And then he says high levels is associated with cancer in boys, they found areas that have higher fluoride in teenage boys. So they did testing and large amounts of bromide coming out, but not fluoride. Okay, but listen to this, what he said. Because why? What did I just say? When you have fluoride in the body, it doesn't want to keep it there. So it wants to get rid of it very quickly. So where does it put it? In the bones, okay? And so and then we have fluoride in water. We have the fluoride in toothpaste. And he says it's in all prepared drinks, soft drinks, fruit juices made of fluoridated water. It's in 200 different prescription medicines that contain fluoride. That's why we want to stop right here. That's why. There's your why. If you are looking for a why, to be proactive in getting healthier habits in your life, that way, slowly, you can start to get off of the medications. See, but I know that doctors don't offer this, but again, they say it's not their fault. They were not educated like this in school. I like to study and I love this stuff. So I'm really passionate about different heart health things because I want to keep myself healthy if I can. Okay, so he said that you do need a special filter for the water to get rid of the fluoride. Dosage, okay, the RDA, and I'm going to show you right now. I have this, I bought this. It's iodine with kelp, but I'm going to talk to you about a different one. So here it says that there's 150 micrograms, and this is what the RDA recommends, but they're saying it's not enough. They're saying teenage kids need it, even babies, kids, small kids need it, and definitely adults. And he found that most adults need about 25 milligrams, okay? There's a liquid supplement out there called Lugol's, L-U-G-O-L-S. There's a 2% or 2.5% and a 5%, and I think in the 5%, each drop is 6.25 milligrams. So if you were to take 2 drops, that's only 12 milligrams. And he said in his testing, 12 milligrams was just not enough. That's what he said. Okay, so remember I told you the stages that it goes to: cysts, nodules, hyperplasia, then cancer. Okay, so he said, yes, average adult needs about 25 milligrams. Okay, what else? Iodine in salt. So, we do need salt. The salt that I'm talking about that I use is like the pink Himalayan or the Celtic salt. And I guess the different salts that have iodine in it, I'm pretty sure that's good enough. He says that the salt helps to detoxify from the halides, bromide, and fluoride, okay? What else did he say? Here are the different drugs, some of them, that contain fluoride. And remember, we don't want the fluoride. SSRI, Prozac, Zoloft, Lipitor, Prevacid, Flonase, and Cipro. It's an antibiotic, so it's probably in the antibiotics. In Japan, they take about 16,000 micrograms a day, and they don't have cancer of the breast, or they have the least amount, okay, and prostate cancer than we do. So he did testing on different amounts. He did the 25 milligrams, the 12 milligrams, the 50 milligrams. He said 25 milligrams is enough for most. 12 milligrams a day was not enough for our world, the world we live in, the toxicity that's all around us, and the different plastics too. He said that iodine is not the only thing. He's not saying that. He says, but it is a big piece of the puzzle. Okay, gave you Lugos. Lugos, gotta Google it. What else did he say? So this is what he does if someone has a thyroid problem. He said he would first put them for 2 weeks on iodine and then recheck them. And then he would put them on a thyroid hormone, usually a bioidentical, a more natural one. But he says that this combination allows him to use lower levels of thyroid hormone. That's a good thing, okay? And then somebody asked him this question: does hyperthyroidism need a daily supply of iodine? And please leave your questions below, because I will use the questions to make more videos, right? Okay, which is hyperthyroidism is called Graves' disease. What is hyperthyroidism? It's when your thyroid gland is overstimulated with immunoglobulins. It's like a fire burns in the thyroid, and it's releasing a lot of thyroid hormone. And basically it makes people hyper, nervous, jittery, and something they call buggy eyes, okay? So I was just listening to another doctor, I'm not gonna name him, and he said in his video, don't take iodine if you have hyperthyroidism. Now, I'm gonna go with this doctor, and he says that his treatment for Graves' disease is he does use iodine. But again, you wanna use it with an iodine literate doctor, right? Where they're testing you. And I'm gonna show you where they're testing you. And it's not just the THS that they're testing the full panel, okay? And they do nutrition too with you. Okay, let's continue. So signs and symptoms of taking too much iodine. He said if you have good kidneys, you can take a lot and release the excess, okay? Can get detox reactions at first when you start taking iodine, so maybe start taking it slowly, but again, you should be working with an iodine literate doctor, because the body is getting rid of, so when you start taking iodine, it's now competing for the places where bromide and fluoride are sitting in your cells, right? And so, but taking salt helps. And I think next week I'm gonna talk about salt, okay? A lot of the myths that people believe about salt. And in one of the other videos that I was watching, he said that people actually need another teaspoon of salt than what they're already taking. Okay, but not if, I guess, you're just eating fast food every day and it's high sodium already. So, so some of the signs of low iodine could be fatigue and tiredness, chronically cold hands and feet, dry skin, brain fog. But I really want to bring you well, let me before I bring you a lady who actually had these symptoms and what she said, her take on it. Here are some of the rich foods of iodine. So you can find it in wild seaweed from the ocean, like kelp and nori, not the farmed seaweed, sea fish, the smaller fish for less mercury, sea crustacean shellfish like shrimp, crab, and lobster, ocean, not farmed, meat, organ, grass-fed, and he said that all animals need iodine also, okay? Dairy, the coastal region, grass-fed, the eggs, and coastally growing plant food. So I'll talk to you about, who is she? I got her, I want to get her testimony. So she said that she had These were her symptoms. And how she found these symptoms was she had infertility, which led her to this. So sometimes something will lead you to something else. She had extreme fatigue. She said that she would wake up and go straight to the couch. Okay. Mood change. She was anxious, worried, depressed. Everything got on her nerve. Okay. Brain fog. Okay. Hair loss, weight gain, low libido, okay? And she, I guess, took the natural thyroid hormone. It's called desiccated thyroid. I'm just giving you the information. And then what she did, she suffered from pain and insomnia, okay? So she went on a keto diet, meat heavy, carnivore, and then she got pregnant. Now, I'm not telling you that you have to do that. I don't know how I would do that. I'm not a big meat eater. But, so anyway, I am just bringing you this information as information. I truly believe in it now that I understand it better, because I think I was also believing that you can overdose on iodine. But the main goal is to help get you healthier, and so that way you're either getting off your thyroid medicine or taking a smaller amount. Okay, so you start to feel better. Okay, so if you have any questions, I do help women of faith achieve everlasting weight loss, improve their gut health, improve their energy, and help them develop a perfect eating blueprint. We use a binder. I use my Mini Mountain Roadmap. So leave me a DM in the comments, or if you're watching from my YouTube, I will leave my links in the description below. So God bless you. Share this video. You never know who needs to hear this.